Hey up, my name's John Dayton and I've written a series of books called Animal Anarchy. They're published on Amazon and they're illustrated by my good friend Peter Kavanagh. We're currently working on book 4, but he hasn't started doing any drawings yet, hasn't Peter? So I thought I'd try something different today and read you a story that is going to go into book 4, but ask you for your opinion. What do you think about this story? Do you like it? Do you think it's rubbish? Do you think it's funny? Do you like the characters or you don't like the characters? Do I need to get my hair cut? Anything you feel that would be constructive criticism, because these poems, these stories, they're for you guys. So if you help me to make them better, then that's good for everybody. So have a think while I'm reading this. You might need a grown-up to help you to respond on the website or through the email, and just let me know what you think. So this poem's called Christopher Crab. No pictures yet, but I would like your thoughts. So here we go. If you're sitting comfortably, then I'll begin. Christopher Crab thought himself rather fab as he strutted along the shore. Although friends he had few, because everybody knew Chris Crab was actually a bore. He never wanted to share. For other creatures he did not care. For company he had no wish, and guarded his rock pool from jellyfish. He'd stand on his back legs and wave his claws, saying, "Go back into the sea. Don't linger, don't dawdle. You're not welcome, don't pause. This rock pool is just for me. This seaweed is mine, and so is that brine. And don't even look at my plankton. And this sand and those shells, they're all mine as well. My ownership can be banked on." Mussels and limpets were unwelcome guests. Cockles and whelks were annoying pests. But he tolerated a group of sea anemones who trapped tiny fish that came in from the sea, because Christopher Crab was too slow to catch 'em. But from the anemone's trap, it was easy to snatch 'em. And he'd scoff 'em all down until his tummy swelled. But then he'd get quite mad at the size of his shell, because he thought that whenever he ate, his shell would get tighter. Could not be his weight. The shell was so rigid and stiff, it made him super miffed. I'm a crab who needs room for expansion. What use is a shell where there's no room to swell? I want fashion, but without this compaction. I'm fed up with wearing this exoskeleton. What I need is some spandex like what they wear in the Peloton. Then I could eat everything that the anemones caught, and still I would be comfy. But he didn't give it a second thought that he'd look like a complete numpty. One day, a young lady came down for a swim. She was wearing a yellow bikini, but she took off her top before she went in, and Christopher, being an absolute meanie, stole it and cut it up with his claws, then gathered some long stringy weeds and stitched the pieces together with never a pause, until he had a costume that suited his needs. Finally, he found a quiet spot away from prying eyes and slipped from his shell that was feeling quite hot. Now the other creatures were in for a surprise. He thought that he looked rather cool when he squeezed into his new suit, but when he got back to his rock pool, the whelks, clams and mussels had a hoot. "Crikey, Christopher, you look really daft, and without your claws you've got no hope." And all the little creatures giggled and laughed at the bright yellow blob of a crab. What a dope. "Oi," he posed, "this pool is still mine, and you lot better just shut it, I think for lunch on a whale I will dine, and in this suit I've got plenty of room to put it. All that fat without any real shape, squeezed into spandex, it made the shrimps gape. Mollusks stared with derision and grins. It just wasn't right. It was an embarrassing sight. The first fat crab fashion victim. You can laugh all you want, Christopher shouted, but I will wear what I please. He looked at his reflection and he pouted. Pretty soon you'll all want one of these. But this style is not for shellfish of the lower orders. Look, it's got a tick, a swoosh and a 3-stripe border. And in it, I'm the image of a sporting geezer. I'm not sharing this with you filter feeders. But just then, a dark shadow fell across the pool. It was a shiny-eyed grey and whiskery seal. Too late, Chris was thinking, have I been a fool? Because Whiskers was looking for a meal. And seeing a clawless crab in a yellow costume, he laughed. Sushi, my favourite food! Oh joy! And nobody felt sorry for Chris Crab, I assume, as Whiskers gobbled him down with wasabi and soy. And now, in the rock pool, the mollusks all say, fashion is not always cool, and neither does it pay to be a selfish shellfish. I hope you like that. If you did or you didn't, send me a comment on the website or at my email address. Let me know. If you like stories, go to the end of the website and there's a story there, quite a long story, maybe a good bedtime story, somebody to read it to you. And it's about an orangutan that I know called Vandu. He's a rascal. He's great. I love him dearly, but he's a naughty orangutan. And again, send me a comment. Did you like it? If you did, I've got more stories. I can share them on the website. So, great seeing you. Glad you dropped by. Look after yourselves, and we'll see you soon. Ta-ra.